Hello friends. Alrighty, so I am working on changing up my newsletter. I'd like to going forward include a more personalized video from me to you and give you a little bit of information on the market and kind of my dose of reality for what's going on. If you pay attention to the news, or if you've been looking for houses and kind of browsing on third-party sites, you'll notice that this market is absolutely insane. I mean, the entire country is insane when it comes to trying to find houses to buy right now. But I read an article, Arizona's in the top 5, along with California, Oregon, Washington, like the West Coast is huge. That all being said, it's still possible to get a house, and I don't want people to get discouraged from the process and home ownership process and things like that. But I thought it would be good to go over, if you do want to buy, or if you know someone that wants to buy, things to keep an eye on in this market. If you're not working with me and you're working with someone else, I'm hoping that they're going over these same things with you, but they're very important, and I'm seeing them a lot in this market right now, and they're serious things when it comes to buying a house that you need to be aware of. So I want to touch base on a couple things. The first is, if you're looking to purchase a home in this market and you're not going to pay cash, you're going to finance it. Cash is always king, obviously. In this market, you need extra cash to play with, even if you are not paying cash. For example, if you're planning to purchase a house with 3 to 5% down, you need to anticipate that based on the price point, let's say if it's under 500,000, you need at least an extra 8 to 10 grand to play with. Because what's happening is, and this report came out for last month, that 56% of houses that sold over list price. So because we have that classic case of supply and demand, we have people who are listing their home, and the home list price is based on recently sold comps, right? Well, that is just a let's get the bidding started at price. So they may list their house for 500,000, and by the time it's all said and done, that house may sell for 540, 550, 560. And at the end of the day, what's really important to understand is that you can offer anything you want on a property as long as you're pre-qualified. So let's say you're pre-qualified up to 600 and the house you love is listed at 500. You can offer 550, but if the house doesn't appraise at 550, you have to be able to cover that spread on the appraisal, and that's where the cash comes in. So appraisers are trying to bring people back down to reality. Some appraisers are doing their due diligence to say, like, hey, show me how many offers you have, show me what they went up to, let me see the demand for this property. And they are giving that a little bit of value, but you as a buyer have to understand that when you write your offer, it means nothing to the seller if you can't bring some money to the table in case that appraisal comes in shy. And sometimes it appraises because something else closes between when you go under contract and when the appraiser goes out there. And so sometimes it works out. But I always have my buyers be prepared for the worst case scenario. So at the end of the day, you could have to bring a maximum of X amount of dollars to the table on top of your closing costs and your down payment. Okay, so something to keep in mind that is happening in this market, and I want to caution people because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest, the crazy train is running through Phoenix right now, and then people are just like hopping on, and if you're not hopping on, you're getting left behind. But there's careful ways to go about it. So the first one I want to talk about, which people are submitting in their offers, is that basically negating your inspections and saying, hey, I'm taking the property as is. If you haven't purchased a home in Phoenix, you would not know, but you go under contract on a house, and then you have a 10-day due diligence period. So that's to do your general inspection, your termite inspection, pool if there's a pool, get the roof inspected, anything else you want to look at, you have during those 10 days. During those 10 days, if you do find something on the property that is a big ticket item, like I'm not asking people, and I would never tell my buyer to say, hey, I need a GFCI outlet replaced or a drain unclogged or something. I'm talking big things, like something's wrong with your roof, there's a leak on it, or something's wrong with the AC, it's not functioning properly and needs to be replaced, right? Like big ticket items that you're bringing maybe all your extra money to the table, and you don't want to get slapped with that after closing. If you have your 10-day due diligence, then after you get your inspections back, you sit down with your agent and you go over, okay, what repair requests do we want to ask for, right? Or if something large comes up, do we just ask for a credit at closing, right? Like maybe if you do need a new AC unit, hey, look, this AC unit's not working. Can we negotiate? Can you pay for half? Can I pay for half? Like that's the negotiation process. It's called a buyer's inspection notice for repairs. Certain agents are instructing and having their clients basically submit an offer and then submit that document saying, I accept the property as is, we're good to go. That is very risky, and I want to explain why. When you write a contract, you also deposit with the escrow company, the title company, your earnest money. On a $500,000 house, that would probably be anywhere from 5 to 10 grand, just depending on how strong you want to make your offer. When this earnest money goes and sits with title, it is there basically because, and then it gets applied towards your closing costs or your down payment, but it's there to show you have some skin in the game, okay? So if you, during your 10 days, if something comes up, you can back out of that contract and cancel for any reason, and your earnest money is refunded to you. However, if you submit with your contract a buyer's inspection notice for repairs saying, I accept the property as is, I will not ask for repairs, then you go and get your inspection done, and all of a sudden you find out the property needs a new roof or you need a new AC unit, you lose out on the ability to negotiate. And now if you decide, whoa, I'm gonna cancel this contract, you lose the earnest money and that goes to the seller because you've already said, I will accept the property as is. Now you might get a seller that's like, whoa, I had no idea, I'll totally work with you. But in this market, that's very unlikely because they know they can go back to market and they can get another 12 plus offers on it. So what they might do is take your little chunk of earnest money when you cancel, go make the repair that's needed, and then relist it, and now it has a brand new AC unit. So, I mean, that's worst case scenario, but I just think it's important to understand when you make a decision like that, how it could impact you in the most drastic way. The next one is the appraisal contingency waiver. And I'm seeing this a lot, and it's not a terrible thing, but you have to make sure if you're waiving your appraisal contingency that you are okay with the maximum amount of money that you could potentially have to bring to the table. For example, if you go under contract, if you're putting in an offer on a $500,000 house and you're going up to $550,000 and you waive the appraisal contingency, and that appraiser says, no, sorry, this house is only worth $500,000, you have to come to the table with an extra $50,000 on top of your already, down payment and your closing costs, okay? And if you choose to not do that, then you lose your earnest money. If you decide, you know what, this isn't what I was expecting, I'm gonna cancel because I don't have $50,000, you lose the earnest money that you submitted in the beginning, whether that was $5,000, $10,000, that goes to the seller and they go back to market. And I want people to understand the seriousness of this. So I only tell people to do this when they have a very large chunk of change in the bank or they're putting a substantial amount down. Maybe they're putting 50% down. Okay, well, we've got room to play with on the money side of things. But if you're strapped for cash and then the property that you are putting in an offer on also needs a whole bunch of renovations that you're planning to use your extra money for when you close, you need to understand what worst case scenario is for that. So those are just really the two big things that I want people to know about. Aside from that, I do want to say if you do know anyone that needs or wants to sell, please put them in touch with me because people think they can do it on their own in this market, and you really can't. You still need someone there to guide you through the process. We're seeing a lot of buyers that are coming out and they're putting multiple offers in across the board. They're not telling them. They're supposed to disclose it, but they're not. And then they get 10 days into the contract and they back out. Now your days on market has gone up. People are starting to say, why is it sitting in this market when everything's so you have to have somebody that is helping you through to make sure that the person you're choosing checks off all the boxes, right? When it comes to their lender, their pre-qualification, and when it also comes to that relationship with the buyer's agent to say, hey, look, here's the deal. we like your offer, we're gonna accept it, but I wanna make sure that you're not gonna go back out on me because you've written 5 other offers. So those are just relationship based and communication based. But I'm hitting 10 minutes and I didn't mean for it to be this long, but I hope that this helps for any of you that are out there looking and gives you some knowledge and information to sort of attack the market with. And then if you do need help because you're pounding the pavement and nothing's happening, please reach out to me. Obviously, I don't ever want to step on another agent's toes. We're all working incredibly hard right now. And a lot of times, if you are having problems, it's probably not the agent. It's just the fact that this market is so competitive. And so I have come up with a lot of creative ways for my clients to get their contracts accepted, to pull money from certain places and have different kind of creative strategies. So I would love to help you. And even if you just have questions, I'm always here to answer them. So I hope you have a wonderful Easter and I will talk to you soon.